If you're a subscriber to my channel, you know how much I love to build antennas, play with antennas, design antennas. Heck, I've even got a book out about antennas. You know, I've made it a mission here lately, this year, 2025, to leave no antenna behind. You know, I cut a lot of wires and build a lot of antennas, but I've really experimented a lot this year with telescopic whip type antennas. Now, through purchasing these antennas, being offered these antennas to do a review on, I've pretty much collected them all. I want to go through these antennas, give you the good points, the bad points, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, maybe give you a little bit of an insight on these simple but yet very effective telescopic type antennas. Stick around. I've made it a mission this year to experiment with every antenna I can. You know, you hear a lot of people and they almost get offended when you don't use the antenna that they do. He's like, I'm an end-fed half-wave guy. Hey, that's fine, man, but you know what? There are a lot out there, and we learn a lot more by experimenting with more different antennas. And I've really enjoyed, over the past few months, trying out and testing different telescopic whip type antennas. I'll start this off with the one that really kicked it off for me, and that was the JPC-12 or the PAC-12 type antenna. I like this antenna because it's a center-loaded antenna. It's got a coil, loads from the center, and it comes in a nice little small kit, you know, zip-up kit, and pretty easy to travel with. It's lightweight and very easy to travel with. One problem I had with mine when I first got it was the bottom, the feed point part. I have some connectivity issues in here, short or whatever you want to call it, and it just didn't perform. The cool thing about these type of antennas, though, is I went online and found a replacement, not the same one, but something that would do the job. Basically the same part, different manufacturer maybe or whatever, but it was billed as a JPC, feed point, JPC-12. I bought it and it worked great. Had some good times with it. One thing I don't like about these antennas is the ribbon wire that comes with them. They're basically computer ribbon wire that you pull apart and make your counterpoise wires with. Garbage, really is garbage. I have found a really cool, it's for the JPC, it is for the 12 actually. It's a plate, a radial plate, and I use that now. And then through Chelegance, they sell these for their one of their MA type antennas with plugs in it. I bought these and use it on the plate. And what I do when I'm out on the beach, these were actually meant to be plugged into the bottom of another antenna. I pop these down in the sand and they hold the wire tight when I'm on there. So using this with that radial plate and the new thing, I've really done some mods to this antenna. Something else I like about the JPC-12 was the mods that you can make with it. Pretty cool. Is there anything I dislike about it? Not really. This is a great antenna. I've even gone beyond and found another cool mod, and that is a capacitance hat, and put a capacitance hat on the top of it as well, and really had a fun time. This is an antenna that you can build upon and experiment with and have a lot of fun with. So the PAC-12 or JPC-12 antenna, I'm gonna rank it pretty high on there as well. Another antenna, and this one, let's see, I got a couple of them here, is what we call the red slug antenna. And I like this antenna a lot. I've been using it, like, I test radios, new radios, new QRP rigs with it. And it is, like I said, the little red slug. I've got a couple of these now. You put a 5.6 meter telescopic whip on it, and then you can tune it up and down anywhere from 20 meters down to 6 meter band per se. I did a couple videos on this. When I first did a video on it, these things were like $29.99. The video got like 11,000 views, and suddenly I noticed that they were wanting $75, $80, $90. So if you're looking at one of these, I got one from Amazon and one off, I think, AliExpress. The prices are coming back down on them. A question I get asked all the time is, they look the top and the bottom. The ones I have a little tab, if you can see it right there. It's like a little tab part. That little part is the ground. That's the bottom of it. So what these things do is they have a spike, put right on it, and then spike it into, I put it in the sand, run coax. The JPC12 radial plate that I was talking about, that's it. I put it in between here and there and go. And these are fun antennas. They really are. As a matter of fact, here's the other one I have. It's still got the telescopic whip stuck to it, and screwed into it. But pretty cool. These are a lot of fun. And I've found that for just putting up a quarter wave vertical antenna, there's no easier way than what we call the red slug antenna. It's a lot of fun. It really is great. Sticking with verticals, the other one I have that's very similar to the JPC 12 is the JPC 350. This is a cool antenna for the fact it's almost the same antenna as the 12, but a little bit longer, bigger, taller, because this will do 80 meters with a larger coil. The bigger coil on it will do 80 meters. And like I said, it comes in this nice compact bag, as most of these do as well. Another thing I don't like about that antenna is it comes with this ribbon wire. It works, but I mean, it's just hard to take care of. And I've replaced the radial wires on that one as well. Not my favorite antenna. One more vertical that I have is the Radioddity, and this is the HF009. This is a really cool, once again, nice little case it comes in. Cool antenna. Radioddity did give me that one to use, or basically to promote for them. But I liked it. It's tunable. I like the fact that the coil is encapsulated in that. You put the antenna all the way up, and you can use your thumb. There's a little slide gauge on the side of it to go up and down to tune the antenna from 20 down to the 10 meter band on that. I believe it may do 6 as well, but it may go up to 40. But I like that antenna. I've had a lot of fun. I've been out with it 2 or 3 times. I've had it on the beach, and really cool antenna. That one, I will tell you, has which is a good thing, but has a very narrow Q, so it's very narrow banded, which means it's a more effective antenna. But tuning it is a little bit less forgiving than some of the other ones. But once you tune that antenna, it's a great antenna. It really is. After that, the next step up in staying in verticals is I got this one from Chelegance. These antennas here. This is the bending over. Sorry, the Chelegance, the MC750 portable. This antenna is probably definitely a better performer than the JPC 12. Has a lot more accessories for it as well that you can put on it and use. I like that. There's another antenna that's basically the same antenna I have as well. That is the MA12. This one was sent to me to try out as well. So it is the exact same antenna as the 12 as its MC750. Had some great times on the beach with these verticals as well. And I'm glad I have them, holding on to them, because they will get used over and over again over the years for sure. One more honorable mention in there that was sent to me from Guzizu. That was their GP antenna, or ground plane antenna. That was a pretty neat antenna. One thing I found about that one, and you don't see them, I haven't seen them lately on for sale anywhere, but the plug-ins on the bottom, they were kind of loose, and that was just the build quality on that part wasn't perfect, but it worked, and I made some great contacts with that as well. Stepping up now to like what we'll call a dipole type antenna. The JPC 12 with just an add-on of a coil, another whip, and a new base, you can turn that into what's called the JPC 7. And JPC 7 is a dipole. And I built that, put it up on a tripod, and that's a really cool antenna up on the tripod, because you can turn it, you can tune it, and turn it as well. It kind of gives you some directionality of it. You can go in a flat dipole, or you can do like we call the V-type dipole as well. Speaking of the V-type dipoles, that's the next step there. The MA50, I've got one of those. This is the case for that. The MA50 vertical V formation dipole is really cool. I had that take that out on a tripod, sat in my Jeep on the beach in Rhode Island with it, and just had a wonderful time with that. Another performer performed well. And and could sit inside, go out. I could tune it, bring it in for what band I wanted to use it in, and just twist it around in the direction I wanted to go with it. I was just also given recently a almost identical to that, very similar antenna, that type of antenna. That is the GHV5 from Goitech. And I've used that recently this past weekend and made amazing 20 watt contacts. I had it up on by my camper RV and in a campground all weekend, and was surprised in the mornings. I mean, I wasn't on the beach, but I wasn't far away. You know, I was probably 100 meters from the ocean, and but made some really amazing contacts from the east coast of the United States, the mid-Atlantic coast, down to Australia. That was good. So it performed well, very quiet. I noticed that was band conditions were such, and it's always noisy with a vertical, but this thing kind of was, for me, I noticed the difference in how quiet things were with that antenna as well. So pretty cool. What I did also, kind of go through some of this, is I've got all these, I got a bunch of bags here. I went through, I believe it was DX Engineering. I bought an extra MC750 bag, just an empty bag. And I keep parts in this thing because that's, as I was saying, you can experiment with these things. And I've got all kind of parts. I've got this is the extra coil to form the JPC12. I'm sorry, the 7 dipole. There is the 7. One thing I will tell you about the 7 as well, I had to go out and purchase a new balun, or one-to-one balun for it. This is, as you see, the little connectors on these as well. In a windy situation in Rhode Island, they snapped off with the weight of the coax on it. So that's something to think about if you're buying one. Maybe connect it, do something. When I put this one up, I'm going to find a way to keep these wires from having the stress of the coax on it. So there's something that I found that happened there as well. But one thing I do have, I haven't done it yet, but I went out and purchased this. This is in my bag. Is I bought a 4-to-1 balun. I found this online, a 4-to-1, because what I'm thinking about doing is putting some the clips on it and using the 4-to-1 balun, put the V dipole up with the JPC7, and then get a clip, run a clip around it, and make a delta loop. That's something that I've been saying I'm going to do. Try to get out soon with that. So that's in my. I'm looking through my bag here. This is not scripted at all. A few other things. Oh yeah. For these like the MA12 and the 750, this is a coil. This coil gives you the 80 meter band, so that's a 80 meter band coil, and that's pretty cool. I like that as well. You stick it on and you can still tune it with the other to do that. That's an accessory I have that I haven't used. One thing I will say with the JPC 350, on the beach I made a 5-watt SSB QRP contact with that, and it was pretty amazing. I've never done that with sitting on the beach with that as well. Talking a few other things, I'm looking through my junk here. The capacitance hat, that's how small the capacitance hat is. If you see it there, when you buy it, and I put it up, and it comes out as well. What that is 4 little tiny telescopic whips that go in here, and then you just bolt the capacitance hat on top of the antenna. You could use this on any one of these as well. The capacitance hat, from what I understand, it's almost what I experienced, kind of lowers your takeoff angle a little bit. Also, electrically, it makes the antenna longer as well. But I just want to go through these things. I tell you what, I like them. I've enjoyed them. I've accumulated a collection of these telescopic whip antennas now. They're fun to play with. They really are. If you don't have the time to cut a wire and and get into it, I understand. Go out and do it. That's what this is all about. Like I said, leave no antenna behind. Experiment with everything. I would not be able to comment. And you see so many people commenting and throwing their info, their 2 cents worth on an antenna. And if you've never used the antenna, how do you know? How do you know that? And I want to be able to say I have used and built pretty much any antenna there is and every antenna there is for HF ham radio. So that's why I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole the last 5-6 months with these antennas, because I feel educated about them now, and I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on them and tell you they're fun to play with. They're fun to experiment. They're fun to modify and do things with and have fun with. To me, nothing beats getting out a pole and cutting wires and building full-length big antennas. But this might be second to that, real close, and it's a lot of fun as well. One more thing I'm going to say, because I know it's going to happen. People are going to ask me in the comments, can you give me the link? Can you give me the link from here forward on stuff like this, I've accumulated this over time. You know, I had a comment the other day, goes, okay, Walt, I'm purchasing this, but if it doesn't work for me like it worked for you, I'm going to hold you responsible. So from this point forward with stuff like this, here's the link. You can go to that link right there and pretty much find everything. Just type in Chelegance, type in JPC12, type in MA50, type in any antenna you want, and let me tell you what, you'll get the AliExpress, the Temu if it's there, the eBay, the Amazon, all that'll pop in there. Just type in the type of antenna you're looking for. I'm sorry if I'm being a smart aleck, but I don't understand why people keep asking for links when it's that easy. It really is. So if you're trying to find something, go down that route and check it out. Hey, I hope I encouraged you to not to buy something, but if you go get something, get out there. Like I said, that red slug antenna, if you've noticed, last 3 or 4 radios I've tested have all been with that, because it was so easy to make a quarter wave vertical. So get out there, make some antennas, even if you're making them out of something you purchased. You get to tune it, you get to play around, you get to try it out and make it work. And that's really what HF ham radio is all about. If you're into that, like and subscribe, my friends. Until next time, I'm Salty Walt, K4OGO. Stay salty.